These were our top climate change stories of 2023. In February, Lake Garda in Italy was at a record low levels because of a drought. Scientists say the Alps got less than half its usual snowfall, so water didn't trickle downstream to local water sources. The situation made San Biagio Island accessible by foot. It's a narrow path, but it had big implications that had local residents concerned. Over the summer, Italy declared a state of emergency because the country's longest river, the Po, was also suffering a drought and hurting rice farms and other agriculture dependent on its water. In March, climate protesters in Berlin showed up at a government building in a fire truck and sprayed orange water, the color for an emergency, on its exterior. The activists demanded the German government take more action on climate change by curbing emissions in the transportation sector. In April, climate activists turned a historic fountain in Rome black by pouring vegetable-based liquid in the water. It was the latest stunt to bring attention to the climate crisis. These young protesters are calling on governments to take action to preserve the planet for them and future generations. In March, contractors in Australia removed millions of rotting fish from a river in the outback. This was after the unprecedented die-off following floods and hot weather.
I haven't got a time frame at the moment, but I anticipate it will be this week, and obviously for the people in India, I want that to be sooner rather than later.
Officials say it's likely happened because the fish needed more oxygen in hot water, but oxygen levels in the water dropped after recent floods receded.
It's a tale of two stories now. There's no flow and the quality looks bad and it smells bad, so we're just trying to see if there's any fish that have survived in this water, but I don't have high hopes of seeing any fish this afternoon.
One town official says keeping the town's water supply pure was the main priority. Removing the dead fish was the next most pressing issue. In July, a bear avoided the soaring Southern California temperatures by using this homeowner's hot tub for relief. The homeowner said the bear relaxed for about 5 minutes before it climbed out and hopped over the fence. Once the bear hopped over the fence, it climbed into a tree, where it took a nap. In June, NYC and other cities experienced some of the worst air quality ever recorded.
They say being outside is like smoking 3 to 11 cigarettes a day. Wow.
10 million people in the US across 13 states were impacted because of the wildfires in Canada. Stephen Fabian explained.
If we look at the weather, it says air quality alert, 160, unhealthy. Should we even be outside right now?
Well, again, that unhealthy refers to the sensitive parts of the population. I think for most adults, healthy adults, we won't have much of an effect. So if you have an air conditioner, you shut the windows, use recycled air setting on your air conditioner, and that'll keep the inside as clean as possible.
It feels a little weird. My eyes are a little burning, my throat's a little sore. It feels kind of strange.
Yeah, and I have some health conditions, some respiratory, I have a mild asthma, and I also feel tightness.
Yeah.
And I've been just taking it easy.
In September, it was chaos in New York City when heavy rain hit the city. People used umbrellas in the subway. This is what LaGuardia Airport looked like.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
This was the chaotic scene on the streets as cars drove through the floods.
I am issuing a state of an emergency for New York City based on the weather conditions.
The mayor urged residents to stay in place or shelter at home. This year, the United Nations sounded an urgent alarm on the environment.
The climate time bomb is ticking.
A UN intergovernmental panel of top scientists says time is running out to save the planet from the effects of climate change. The panel urged governments to take immediate action.
We must move from climate procrastination to climate activation, and we must begin this today.
A panel has been compiling research since 2015 from around the world, noting the impact climate change has had and what needs to be done to combat it.
Renewable energy instead of fossil fuels, energy efficiency, green transport, green urban infrastructure, halting deforestation, ecosystem restoration.
The war in Ukraine has only increased urgency for renewable energy sources, as many countries in Europe have resorted back to using coal as relations with Russia have become strained. It's not the first time such a warning has been issued, but whether governments will act is the big question. This is Inside Edition Digital.